This is Sexy 921 Awesome, and this is Horror Movie of the Week 21, only on Epic Horror Fans. Today I'm going to be reviewing The Blair Witch Project on Blu-ray disc. Now, this film came out in 1999. It's about three filmmakers that went missing in October 1994. They disappeared in a woods near Burkesville, Maryland, and the documentary follows these three filmmakers, of course, in the woods. Now, the interesting thing about this movie, it was marketed as an actual real event that happened in history. The movie was made on a $20,000 budget. It was sold to United Artisan, and they put up $750,000 to market this movie as a real event that happened in history. This is one of those unique found footage films that falls under the same category, let's say, of a Hannibal Holocaust. It's not one of the first, but it's one of the most well done. In fact, most people believe this was an actual event that happened in history. So that's pretty cool. Actually, some of the actors were actually paid to go into hiding when this movie came out to add to the idea that it was actually real. So let me just tell you guys what this movie's about, really. We start out with these three filmmakers going around interviewing the townspeople of Burkesville, Maryland, of course, and they're asking them what they know about the Blair Witch. Now, some of the people in the documentary are actual people telling what they know about the Blair Witch, and some of them are actually hired actors. So you have a mix of real, actual stuff that's happening and stuff that's not happening. That's one of the cool things about this movie, is some of it's actually real and some of it's not, and that's the brilliance behind it. But these three filmmakers are actually actors, and what happened to them in the woods is all staged, but it's well done. All I can say about that. So we hear about the story of the Blair Witch. The Blair Witch apparently was this woman that was basically by the townspeople. She was accused of being a witch. They brought her out into the woods, tied her to a tree where she died by herself in the woods because of the conditions of the weather, of course. And then we find out that she put a curse on all the children in the town, and they all started going missing, and the place became a ghost town. And then later on, people started living there again around the woods where this happened, and weird stuff started happening, basically. That's the whole mythology behind the Blair Witch. So we get to these three filmmakers. They set out going around doing interviews, and they decide to go into the woods themselves. While they are in the woods, weird things start happening. They would set their tent up, and the next day they would find these weird things outside of their tent. Things that were wrapped up, tied up, wooden men, tied up wooden men with like tree bark and all kinds of weird stuff. And there's things inside these things, like blood-soaked eyeballs, fingernails, a tongue, all kinds of weird stuff that they find while they're being stalked by somebody out there. Now, it's not made clear if it's a witch or not, but the audience, of course, assumed it's a witch, considering that, they're going after the Blair Witch. And they start getting very creeped out about this. And they actually get lost in the woods, and they have no idea where they're going. Now, one of the guys that they're with is pretty stupid, and he takes the map and he actually throws it away because he believes that the girl that they're with is leading them astray because of the map. Now they have no idea how to get back because they're totally lost in the woods. And they're being stalked by this Blair Witch-like stalker, I guess you could say. Or you could say, the Blair Witch. Alright, so this is a brilliant film because it follows in those films kind of like Jaws, where you don't actually see the stalker or what's stalking them. It's all in the audience's reactions of what's going on. And that's really why it's brilliant. It's not a gory film at all. And when I saw this movie in the 90s, I actually thought it was a comedy, and I was laughing so hard. So let's get on to how the Blu-ray holds up. Let's talk about the alternate endings. Okay, well, first of all, there were like 3 alternate endings. There's one with the guy. Okay, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen this movie, I'm going to totally ruin the ending for you. So if you haven't seen it, then please come back when you saw the movie. So the first alternate ending is, of course, of the guy levitating in the corner. And there's also an other alternate ending where he's actually facing the audience just like this. And then there's an alternate ending, of course, where he's hanging himself. And then we have an alternate ending where he's turned in the corner, and that's another alternate ending, which is kind of like the original ending when you think about it. But I think that when they went with the original ending, they thought that was a good idea of him being turned in the corner, because you don't really know what's going on, but it's so simple that it works. But I always thought he was hanging himself in the corner, and that is actually an alternate ending included on the Blu-ray. So I was like, okay, now it finally makes sense. That's why that girl's screaming, but they overdubbed it with him actually being turned in a corner, and that's what they went with. I guess that was just more effective because it was just really weird and mysterious, and you didn't know what was going on when he was turned. Was he dead? Was he not dead? What the hell's going on? And I think that's why it works best with the audience with the original ending. And I can see why they went with it. The levitating ending was actually pretty interesting, so I kind of, in a way, that's kind of worth getting the Blu-ray because it comes with the alternate endings, and the DVD doesn't. This, of course, is a Best Buy exclusive. You can also get it at Future Shop. It comes with The Curse of the Blair Witch, discovery footage theories of the Blair Witch. Of course, these are all made-up documentaries about what happened with the Blair Witch, because this stuff never actually happened. It's just totally made up by the filmmakers. There's even an online campaign made up around the movie. Now, the transfer of this movie is pretty horrible. It actually looks like a VHS tape transferred onto a Blu-ray. Now, they did do one thing right with this Blu-ray, which I will admit with it. There was like always a fuzz at the bottom of the Blair Witch movie, and this always irritated me every time I would watch it on TV or watch it on VHS. There was always fuzz at the bottom of the screen, even on the DVD. Now, this has been taken away in the Blu-ray, and it looks nice. But it still looks like a really crappy copy. Now, I know this was filmed on 16mm, and they could have done a way better transfer than this. And I am pretty disappointed, actually. I would probably give the transfer out of 10 a 3 out of 10. It's probably one of the most horrible transfers I've ever seen. It's pretty bad. Now, is it a little bit better than the DVD and the VHS? Maybe, because you don't get that fuzz thing at the bottom, but it's pretty horrible, and they advertise it like this is the best transfer, but I don't think you would actually see that much difference if you watched, let's say, the DVD or Blu-ray, which it comes with. It comes with the Blu-ray and the DVD. And, of course, the reason to get the Blu-ray is the alternate endings. So would I suggest picking this Blu-ray up? Yeah, if you can get it for a good deal. But I gotta say, it's a pretty good Blu-ray, and I suggest getting it. It's pretty awesome. If you can get it for a good deal, $10 or $5, suggest getting it. Anyways, check this movie out. The Blair Witch Project is a fantastic film. Check it out. Fantastic movie. And have an awesome night, everyone.